Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Celeste Ammerman, Bookkeeping by Celeste, QuickBook Pro Advisor,
Yes.
extraordinaire. Is extraordinaire also. Great to have you on, Celeste.
That's
And
nice to be here
I'm,
today.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy to have you on here. It's been interesting. I feel like you're in one of those businesses that is probably one of the most important that business owners most often neglect.
Mm-hmm.
if you can't if you don't know your numbers, you can't manage them. And if you
Very
can't
true.
manage your numbers, how do you manage a business?
Mhm.
So, bookkeeping expert and QuickBooks Pro advisor, why don't you tell us a little bit about the story behind how you got started and how you launched your business, how it all began?
So I'm by trade, by education, an accountant. I worked in the private sector most of my career. My last job was chief financial officer for a medical practice management company,
Mhm.
where I managed many companies in that role who hired us to take care of their back end. The doctors take care of the patients, we took care of everything else. So when I moved on from that, I decided to go out on my own. And I thought about what did I enjoy doing the most? And it wasn't sitting back and just doing business's taxes. You see them once a year and you move on. I really liked helping the small business. People don't realize, every doctor's office is a small business. It's something
Okay.
that they don't get trained for, but they're thrown in to have to handle. And I thought, well, there has to be other people just like that in other fields. You open a business because you're an expert on that type of business, whether it's construction, landscaping, interior design. It doesn't mean you know how to run your business. And it doesn't mean you understand your debits and credits and what a profit and loss statement is. So I decided I'd open a business where I could help that small to medium sized business owner, whether it be with your basic accounting needs, reconciling your bank statement and preparing for taxes, or at a CFO kind of level where maybe they need help or opinions or advice about hiring, firing, what kind of business loans to get, all the things that the business owner needs help with, but maybe doesn't really know who to ask. So I like to say I'm there for them. I'm with them in their journey of growing their business.
Okay. I like the sound of that because you can help that person who would otherwise show up at their accountant with a shoebox full of receipts,
Yes. Yes.
or you
The
can be a
dreaded
fractional
shoebox.
CFO for
Mhm.
somebody who's, um, got more. I think I've called you. I know I have. I've called you from clients' offices asking you to sort through a problem with, QuickBooks and
Yes.
things like that. So, you can pretty much figure out what they need and then help them with it, right?
Yes. Yes.
What is it that makes you, I mean, I know the answer to this, but what is it makes you unique
Well,
in the industry?
for one thing, and let's talk about things like AI and outsourcing. A lot of these people who are going to help you at a very reasonable rate with your books, they're not accountants, and they're
No.
either reading from a script or had a 6-week course in how to use QuickBooks. And I always say with QuickBooks, it's a great program. It'll let you do anything you want. It'll let you do anything you want, even if you shouldn't.
Even if it's wrong.
Yes. And what I can do, given my education and my work experience, I'm a level above that. I'm going to be helping you do it the right way. I'm not going to do your taxes for you, but when you go to that accountant, your paperwork is going to be in order and clean, so that that bill is less, and you won't be missing deductions or posting things incorrectly, having your expenses capitalized or not. All of the little things that a business owner maybe doesn't know.
Well, you're, I'm sure, able to help out people. And sometimes when I'm a business coach and I feel the same way. I'm not teaching somebody how to be a dentist or how to
Right.
be an attorney. They know those things, but what they don't, the whole range of stuff that I would work on somebody with about their marketing or hiring or objective setting or managing or leadership, all that stuff, right? But what you can do is bring that clarity. And when people use QuickBooks, what I've seen, sometimes, and is you'll get to their numbers, and the numbers won't tell you the story. The numbers
Right.
aren't the numbers don't give you what you need to know to
Mhm.
operate the business. And something will be in there that they're not detailed enough to take you to the level you need,
Mhm.
or they don't. The biggest category is miscellaneous, a chart of accounts. So all those things are things you can help somebody with.
Yes.
Oh, you got
Yeah.
to code this way. You gotta
Correct.
do a
Hmm.
reconciliation. Do you help
Hmm.
people with the reconciliation monthly? If
I
that's what they
do.
do?
I have certain clients that every month I do their bank rec, which is a very important thing, which
Oh, yeah.
I got to say a lot of people don't really appreciate because nowadays everything is electronic and you make your deposits with your phone and you don't really ever look at a bank statement. You just kind of look at the activity every month. That doesn't tell the whole story.
Right.
One thing, you don't want to be missing opportunities of expenses that you should be posting. You also don't want to be missing fraud that might be happening into your account. And there's a lot of electronic fraud out there. You really need to have someone, and even in a small office, somebody outside the company who's looking at every entry to make sure that there isn't any theft going on within your company or fraud happening to your company. So some
Yeah.
people, I do their bank statements every month and just do a review of their P&L. Other people, I do more for that. Sometimes they want me to maybe pay their bills or process their payroll, any number of things that they don't have time to do, and maybe they don't really trust anybody that they're hiring to do. Sometimes as a business owner, when you have a small office, you don't necessarily want the person at the front desk to see the kind of money that comes in, your expenses, your income. You want somebody outside of the office to know those things.
And or maybe they can't really justify a full-time person or even a part-time person to do that. But
Mhm.
I mean, just well, maybe this is the right time for you to talk about your products and services. Bookkeeping is a big category, right? So
Yeah,
what
it
I
is.
mean, describe a couple of the different ways you can help in terms of products or services.
Well, I say I do anything as much as or as little as you need. And although I am a QuickBooks Certified Pro Advisor, that doesn't mean that is the only software I work on. I have many clients who don't use QuickBooks. They use industry-specific software. And the difference being when you hire someone new in your office, you sit and train them for 3 days how to work on that software. When you bring me in to do it in a matter of a few minutes, I can maneuver my way around most softwares that I've seen. As much as they're different, they're all the same. And then that way, that frees the owner from having to train someone. I come in and take care of it for you. So it can be remote. Most products nowadays can be done remotely. So maybe you don't really have an office. Maybe you work kind of out of your car and you don't really want somebody coming into your home office. I can do it remotely. Maybe you have an office of, 10 or 20 people and I can come monthly, weekly and take care of your bookkeeping needs. Maybe your bookkeeping needs is reconciling your checking account. Maybe it is helping hiring someone. Maybe it is running your payroll with a payroll company. Any wide variety of things that should be getting done in your business on a regular basis, but maybe aren't.
Okay. So if I let me make sure I got it right. So you can come in and help somebody, whether it's a monthly reconciliation, whether it's, well, let's go back up, whether it's building a chart of accounts,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you build a chart of accounts, set up QuickBooks or set up whatever system, teach them about, you do a monthly reconciliation with them, help them with financials, help them with payroll, reporting, and that would be if they needed to hire somebody or they hired somebody and part of their time was spent on bookkeeping, you could also come in and be there like, well, I'm going to train them and I'm going to help. I'll give you oversight and
Yes,
take them to the next level. They don't need to
exactly.
pay all the time, for you, but they need to pay for that expertise that you bring, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And it could just be a phone call an hour a month to review information. It could be that this month you find out you have a workers' comp audit and nobody knows how to take care of that. It's anything that you're feeling you need help on without a commitment as a minimum or maximum amount for a month, even if it's once a year to help get your information together. So it's really tailored to the needs of the customer.
Weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly,
Mhm,
annual, right?
mhm.
So depending on
Yes,
what they need. So I mean, a couple of, if you think about either what's the big value or what are the big problems that you solve, or where is an example or two of that that you think of from all your experience that you actually help somebody with?
Well, there was one client I had who had their program in QuickBooks, but they were based in Europe and they were bringing this company to open it up in the United States. And they wanted to put it into their software, which was written in another language because they're from Europe and it was in their home language. I helped the programmer who spoke some English take all that information from QuickBooks and put a year's worth of information into that program. Now, I didn't speak their language, but I can speak debits and credits. And between the two of us, we were able to transfer them over from QuickBooks to their proprietary computer program that could help them with their production and accounting needs.
So
So that was,
you speak numbers.
I do speak numbers
You
pretty
speak
well.
numbers.
Something else I can do, I've had a client call me up to come in and do an audit of their books to find out that lo and behold, the person that they had working for them for many, many years had been stealing money, had been stealing, maybe 20 or $30 a week, but over the course of 15 years, it ended up being about $250,000. And with my research into how the entries were being done, looking at the bank statements, at the canceled checks, which is a very important piece of it, to find out that there was a lot of theft going on. And they were able to prosecute this person based on my results. So it really kind of runs the gambit. I mean, it's just as simple as also the person who is just starting out and has no idea what to do. And I can sit down next to them and assure them that it's all going to be okay. And one step at a time, we can put it together. It's only an over-mounting hard task when you don't know how to start. And once you
Right.
realize you just start one step at a time, anything's
Right.
possible.
You need to get started.
Yeah,
You need
very
to start.
important.
The fraud, that's a different one altogether, but fraud of all different kinds
Mm-hmm.
is scary.
It's very
I've had
scary.
too many stories, and sometimes it's really, evil, whatever, check washing
Mm-hmm.
and hacking and all that kind of stuff. But it can also just be somebody that you're sitting next to all day long for years and years, who's
Yes.
and you need tools and the skills to be able to get at those things.
Correct. And
That
sometimes it's very hard for people in your business or yourself to take care of this because you have a personal relationship with everybody. So it couldn't possibly be Mary Jo or Janie. It has to be something else. I'm coming in with a new set of eyes that unfortunately can see maybe what you can't see in the situation.
you think that it couldn't be anybody until you find out
Right.
that it happened. And if you don't have that objective, neutral point of view, I think that's
Mhm.
incredibly important.
Yeah.
Cool. You built a business,
Hmm.
and what's been your biggest challenge in building your business, and how did you overcome it?
So in the beginning, as I said, I've worked in the private sector my whole career. So I'm, becoming an employee, joining a company, taking care of running that company, but I was never in sales. I never had to get new business for that. So now I go out on my own and I really have absolutely no idea how I'm going to get clients. And, bookkeeping is a funny thing. People are handing over their baby. They're handing over maybe their checking account information. They're not going to just give that information to anybody. Just running an ad in the paper in the old days as you would do, or maybe posting something on Facebook. You might get some people, but it's trust is such an important factor in this. So through the recommendation of a friend, I joined a networking group. Now, for me, this was ideal. In the networking group that I'm in, you get to meet people one-on-one. You get to know and build a relationship with them, meaning they learn to trust you. You learn to trust their opinions, and then they will refer you. Really, in business, like anything else, it's the relationships you can build. And I found that being able to build relationships and then working, really, I'm on a 100% referral basis for the most part. I do very little advertising because I can impress a client well enough that they'll brag about me to someone else, and the phone rings and you have another client.
Well, I think that you're right. It's such a intimate part of their business,
Mhm.
and they do need somebody they know, like, and trust.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
absolutely critical that you
Mhm.
do that. Of course, if you want to get bigger and bigger, then you also need to, you know, put the word out, right? And then
Yes.
leverage all those great contacts you have, and those
Mhm.
people who are willing to speak up, which is, I don't do these recordings with just about anybody.
Mhm.
If you don't know, like, and trust somebody, um, I'm not going to put them on a video and say, hey, you need bookkeeping help?
Mhm. Right.
Uh, Please call Celeste and do yourself a favor. Um, it goes without saying. I hope it goes without saying.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Mhm.
A lot of people. This is interesting, maybe from my coaching experience. I hear this all the time, but people say they're not in sales. I would be the first person to tell you I'm not a salesperson.
Mhm.
I never had to be. I had a corporate background. I had,
Mhm.
worked in big companies, and I'm going out on my own in my coaching business, and yet I
Mhm.
have to sell. And I'm not a pushy salesperson, but I go by the adage that if you're in sales the right way, that what you're trying to do is professionally help people to
Exactly.
buy.
Mhm.
You're professionally helping them to get what they need. And you have a suite of between between your ears, you have the experience and the knowledge, and you have the practical certifications and equipment. You can work with any system or any software. You can help somebody with Excel, right?
Right. Right.
But so you have those two things of that experience plus that, and now you're professionally helping them buy. Will they all get it?
Mhm.
No, maybe not. But if you're helping them to sell, and I will never be pushy with somebody.
Right.
I, you know, um, it doesn't make sense. But you can help them to
Yeah.
buy. You're
Right.
not a traditional salesperson, but
Mhm.
you're doing sales.
Right. In the end, I always say that I'm filling a need more than selling a product.
Yeah,
I'm seeing people who have need an end result and don't know how to get there. So I'm not selling something that they're going to buy, put on the shelf, and never use again. I'm selling the ability to run their business and know what their business is doing. And that
great.
only comes with help and with someone working with you. You know, it does me no good to get involved with someone who's really not ready for this yet. I can't care about their business more than they do.
Oh, where
You
have you
know?
heard that before? Because
So
I've only
true,
said that
right? I think you might have heard that before,
I've only said that 1,000 times.
but it's
Hey,
true. So I'll
I
have a
can't.
client who wants to, oh, I want to get my books in order, and I'll send them, okay, a list of questions. Just tell me about your business and send me some information. And they don't. And then the second time I re-ask them the question and they don't. And by the third time, you know what? They're not ready. And there'll come a day when they realize, oh, maybe I do need this. But they're not ready yet. They
Right.
have to want it.
They have to put some skin in the game. They have to be
Yeah.
ready to do it. And yeah, you
Mhm.
cannot care more about their business than they do.
No. Hmm.
So, until they're ready, I think that's absolutely true. So, um, wow, time went by really quick. This was fun. Celeste Ammerman, Bookkeeping by Celeste. Thanks
Hmm.
for joining.
Thank you
That,
so
that
much for
was
the
great.
opportunity. Great to talk to you.
Let's do this again.
Yeah, we will.
All right.
Mhm.